What's up, family? It's your boy Mad Brad with the Ravens Football Junkies Podcast. Do me a giant favor and click the subscribe button, the like button, and share if you aren't already a subscriber. Listen, y'all, this has been real rough in Baltimore with this season. I don't remember a season like that, like this. We are historically bad on defense. The offense is comatose. And our special teams, they special, I guess. But all is not lost. John Harbaugh had a press conference today and he told us everything's going to be all right. He said that the problem ain't getting rid of them or. The problem is that we got to stick together and kumbaya and we going to make it through. You know a statistical fact? 1 in 4 teams have a 7% chance of making the playoffs. We may have a little bit brighter future because we are in a losing AFC North league. People keep down the Pittsburgh Steelers, our arch rival, but right now, with our defense giving up 30 plus points a game, man, it looks like Aaron Rodgers is going to come in here and throw for like 500 yards. And I'm laughing. I'm still a Ravens fan. I haven't jumped off the bandwagon, but the facts are the facts. We are historically terrible. In a city that prides itself with the Ray Lewises and the Ed Reeds and the Tony Siragusas and the Sam Adams and the McAllisters and all. We brought in Jair Alexander. We brought in Chataway. We brought in all these guys, but we didn't bring in a pass rusher. Yes, we drafted one. But in this defensive scheme is horrible. And people say, well, don't worry, people getting healthy and they're coming back. Well, when they were healthy, we were awful. But the reality is this, and I want to share this with you. The reason why the Ravens are what they are today, I believe, is they never recovered from that first game this season. That loss against Buffalo, where they had a 3-score lead and they gave it up to lose. They lost the year before in the playoffs to that team. And they're scarred. They're beaten. They're bruised. The Ravens don't even walk with the same swagger no more. It's like an I don't care attitude. And yes, I know we have about 8 starters down, but we've had injuries throughout the course of the Ravens, and we played like Ravens. They were a tough, grind hard team, and this team is not it. And we're losing at the most important place, the line. The defensive line is being tossed around. The offensive line is being just mauled. And it's just awful. But when you lose like they did against the Buffalo Bills, it hurt the team. It did something to them. They suffered from PTSD. They suffered from abuse. Buffalo did a number on us, and then the Lions came in here and they slapped us all upside the head. And then the coup de grace was really the Chiefs. And then everybody took this game lightly against the Texans, saying, "Well, they're 0-8 against us. They've never beaten us." Okay, they didn't beat us; they humiliated us, 44-10. Why? Because the swagger ain't there. And Coach Harbaugh, love him to death, but all those little kumbaya speeches, it ain't working. The players just tuning it out. The season is over in a lot of their minds. I see the way they walk, the way they look. It's over. They know a 1 in 4 team has a little chance, and they don't have easy games to come. Okay, don't act like we have a tough schedule. They're not going to beat the Rams. You don't fix this problem in a week. You don't. You're not. Puka Nacua and the Rams are going to come here and throw up a minimum of 30 points on us. And if this lethargic offense can't start a running game, because the only way to beat the Ravens now, the only way the Ravens going to win is if the offense holds the ball, controls the clock, and score. which means Cooper Rush is going to have a darn near perfect game. The offensive line got to make holes, and Derrick Henry and company has to run the ball. We have to do shorter passes to the tight ends, to Zay. That's going to open up the game. They're going to have to use D-Hop, and they're going to have to use number 81. He's one of the fastest guys on the team, and send him on the out route. But let's watch this. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show y'all something. I'm going to get my other cell phone. Remember what I just said? Hey, Google, how will the Ravens win their next game against the Rams with their starting QB down, a lot of injuries, and their defense is historically horrible? Listen. Here you go.
A Ravens win would require an exceptional defensive performance with their returning injured players, forcing turnovers to shorten the field and leaning heavily on the run game to control the clock and limit backup QB Cooper Rush's passing attempts.
They're going to have to get that run game together. And honestly, if this was a movie like Rudy or Remember the Giants, they could. But it's the ego of our head coach is going to hurt us. Sometimes you got to admit we need some help, and you got to do it, but he's not going to do it publicly. And personally, I think this is going to be his last season here because he don't have the power to impress upon the players how good they are, how to get them out this stupor. The defense don't walk with a swagger. The offense look like they're tired. And when Lamar's not on the field, it's like they don't give an effort. You seen when the receiver gave up on the pass and it was an interception? You see the line not forcing holes, Henry getting caught behind the line. You see it. And I'm not going to be one of those people to sit here and give you orange stars, green clovers, blue diamonds, purple horseshoes. There's a problem in Baltimore, and it's going to start with a coaching change. The head coach Harbaugh is not going to admit that he was wrong by putting an inexperienced coach into the defensive coordinator position. He's not going to admit that. But that's one of the problems. And when you got senior coaches there who can fill that role with the experience, and you don't, you bring them on as an advisor or you bring them on as a secondary coach, ain't nobody trying to hear that. I'm not saying Pagano doing it, but I ain't going to come and make somebody else who's horrible look better. Last year, when the defense was horrible, awful, we brought in Dean Pease, who's not great, but good, and he helped the defense have a pretty good season. Now, you acting like Orr is the end-all, be-all, and from game to game, the defense is the worst. We rank in the bottom of every category defensively. And on paper, we shouldn't be this bad. The problem is until you get this historically horrible, that maybe, just maybe, we address the elephant in the room. We don't have linemen. We need guards on offense. We need a defensive tackle. We never replaced Michael Pierce. We got Aeneas Peebles. He's an undersigned defensive lineman. He's not moving the pocket. We need someone. I know we got Jenkins, but we need a good defensive line, and we need pass rush. We need to generate pass rush up the middle, and we're not doing it. The quarterbacks have about 9 seconds to throw the ball almost on every play. You're going to get defensive holding from our corners because you just can't keep a receiver for 9, 10, 11 seconds. Quarterbacks can think. It's pressure that busts pipes. When you can send a pass rush, you force that QB to maybe go through one read and then throw it away. 2 reads, throw it away. Man, they can go through all their progressions and come back with no pressure. We're making the Texans' offense wasn't the worst, but they wasn't the best. but they threw 44 points on us. And I think we really needed that. We needed the wake-up call. Do I see Harbaugh coming back next year? I don't think so. I don't even think the injuries is going to be enough to save his job. It's the whole attitude of the team that's hurting him. They're not responding. And Kyle Van Noy got up, and when he interviewed, did you see his interview? If not, take a look at his interview. He stuttered. His silence was like nerve-wracking. It was deafening. In years past, when our players got to the thing, they were like, oh, everything's all right. We're going to have a coaches meeting. We're going to do this. We believe in the thing. We're going to get that together. He didn't say that. He's saying things like the players are giving up. He's saying things like we're not responding. This and this. And when a head coach loses his team and they lose faith in that coach, it's time to make a change. Tony Dungy, he lost his job. Andy Reid in Philly on a winning team making the playoffs was terminated because they couldn't get over the hump. He goes to KC and he goes on a historic run. John Gruden. I've just name the coaches. You see it. You see it. When the players stop responding, it's over. And so I'm going to ask you, who do you think is going to be coming in to fill that void next year? Who do you think the head coach is going to be for the Baltimore Ravens? Who do you think the offensive coordinator should be for the Baltimore Ravens? Many people say bring back Moncton because he has a rapport with Lamar. But I think you're going to have to scrap that whole that whole coaching staff and bring in fresh blood. And I'm going to hate seeing some of the guys go because they're great coaches. You know, the pass rush coach, the linebacker coach, because he just got here from out of college. Pagano, all them. The only way you keep a lot of those guys in place is if Pagano gets the defensive coordinator job. But normally when you bring a head coach in, he brings his own people. And it's going to be one of these younger guys coming from a winning team this season. Honestly, I had said last year that we should have brought in Mike Vrabel. People say, oh, I know about Mike Vrabel was a guy. Look at how the Patriots are responding to him. He's a former player with a no-nonsense attitude. He's tough as nails. He looks like a Baltimore Ravens coach. And the Patriots are playing. Look at them. They upset the Bills. The Patriots are playing. And they're responding to their coach. Look at the Lions. They're responding to their coach. Andy Reid, he suffered from injuries, but they are responding to their coach. People are telling me, I got somebody text me today and say, I'm too hard. We got injuries. Everybody's banged up. Look around the league. The Dolphins are still playing high caliber with injuries. Injuries are part of the sport. But I'm just personally going to say this. I think a lot of our injuries are with here. I think a lot of players have given up. I don't believe all these hamstring injuries. I really don't. I just don't. I just believe the players are tired, the team is tired, and they need a change. They need spring cleaning. Because right now we're wasting Lamar Jackson. We're wasting him. He's surrounded by a good offensive complement, but what about the line? Daniel Falele ain't the answer. And the guy was a Voorhees. I don't know if he's still playing, whatever. Voorhees. You're not going to see him improve with Noteboom over there. I know Stanley is injured, but we gotta put our draft picks on linemen this year. We need a defensive mauler in the middle if we're going to still run this modified 3-4 defense. We're going to have to get another corner or two. We're going to have to, we're going to revamp, You're not going to have Hopkins next year, so you're going to have to put in Taz Walker as your third. With his speed, you can use him as a complimentary two, really. Can you imagine putting Zay in the slot, you're putting Walker on the edge, and you're putting Rashid Bateman on the upside? What do you think? You know, Tylen Wallace is solid because he could play both sides. But we're going to have to make some changes to these lines because it ain't working, y'all. We're going to have to get out here and put in some work. This season, y'all, and you might call me a naysayer, call me whatever you want. This season's done. We're not beating nobody in the playoffs. We're not going to beat the Browns coming in. If we continue the way we are, the Browns are going to beat us. The Bengals are going to beat us. It's not an easy track. You're not guaranteed to beat the Dolphins. Even though Tyreek is down, they're still playing. They can put 20, 25 points up against an average defense. Chicago, they have receivers with no pass rush. They got a running game. They're going to beat us. We're not going to beat the Rams. Unless this team coming out firing all cylinders and the offense throws up 40 points, we're not beating the Rams. We're not. 1-5. Going into the bye, coming out. That means Lamar has to go on a historic run with the next 10, 11 games. And it's not going to happen. I see him, if he comes back, he'll maybe win 6 of those games. So we'll finish 7 to 8 wins. And 7 to 8 wins. We'll be 8-9 probably. And I don't think this team deserves to go to any playoffs because every time we go to the playoffs and lose, it puts them at the bottom of the draft. We need to be in the middle or upper middle. We need to be around 10 to 12. But the way we playing, we should be in around 10 to 9. So you can get some quality draft picks and rebuild the team because you do have cap issues. What do y'all think? I know I've been going on for a while. What do you think? What you think about my ploy that we never recovered from the Bills? What do you think about the coaching change? What do you think about the player change? What do you think about needing linemen? You win and lose games at the line. Tell me what you think in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. And no, it's not doom and gloom. It's the reality is I'm going to still watch them this season. I'm going to still enjoy me some football. I'm going to still enjoy me some Lamar. But in order for us to get better, we got to stop ignoring the elephant in the room. It starts at their head. And if the players are tired of the coach, we the fans are getting tired. You heard the boo birds. It's real, y'all. It's real. All right? In the comments, tell me what you think. All right? I'm gone. See you later this week. We're going to go over some more stuff. And Ravens for life. Peace and blessings.